begin. So first of all, thank you everyone for joining myself, for joining Rabbi Natasha, Chazan Stephen, Rabbi Jeremy, and also Harry Kelly from Noam. Yom HaShoah is a day when Jews around the world remember the Holocaust. Yom HaShoah begins tomorrow evening, April 20th. The Shoah happened during World War II, around 75 years ago. Now, the word Shoah is Hebrew, and it can mean either disaster or utter destruction. And Yom HaShoah is a moment when we and Jews all over the world pause to remember all the horrible things that were done to people, particularly Jews, during World War II. It is also a chance for us to remember families and friends who are no longer alive today, but who hold a special place in our heart and memories. As we think about the disaster of the Shoah, we come together, albeit virtually, and we're going to do the following. We're going to read and sing some prayers. We're going to light candles in memory of those who have died. We're going to share some poetry that help us to express our feelings. And then we're going to hold a minute's silence to think about the past, but also how the memories of those lost can light a new path that help us to create a kinder and more caring world. I'm going to begin by handing over to Rabbi Natasha, who's going to read for us in English Psalm 23.
Thank you, DY. Psalm 23, a psalm by David. The Eternal is my shepherd, I shall lack nothing. You let me lie down in green meadows. You lead me beside restful waters. You refresh my soul. You guide me in the paths of righteousness for the sake of your name. Even if I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they will comfort me. You will prepare a table before my enemies. You have anointed my head with oil. My cup is full. Only goodness and kindness shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall live in the house of the Eternal for many long years.
Let's go to Harry, who's going to share with us a little bit about Jewish youth movements in Yom HaShoah, and then we're going to come back to Chazan Stephen.
Good morning, everyone. In the run-up to World War II, around 100,000 young Jews like us were members of Jewish youth movements, similar to Noam. Like at Noam, they learned together, had fun together, and made lifelong friends at their Jewish youth movement. At the time, many movements were focused on encouraging their members to move to Israel and live there. With the outbreak of World War II, things changed, and many young people such as us became very active in looking after their fellow Jews and protecting each other. The Jewish youth movements helped organize classes on Judaism and Jewish history, like Cheder. They published secret newspapers and helped Jews across Eastern Europe to stay in contact with each other at a time when this was becoming more difficult. They became a network to keep Jews connected with each other. As the war progressed, in some places such as Warsaw and Vilna, youth movements organized armed uprisings to stand up for themselves and to stand up for and protect both themselves and their fellow Jews. Along with the names that will be read out soon, we can use this space today to remember the courageous young people like us, members of Jewish youth movements, who are no longer with us.
I want to welcome you. I just want to say a little thing about why we light candles. I don't know if you can see, I'm just going to angle this down. We've prepared 6 candles here, and each candle comes with a little card which is in memory of one person who died in the Shoah. And just before we light the candles, we'll say their name and the little line about them that says who they were, where they came from, and where they passed away, and how old they were when they passed away. It's part of a really, really very, very special project run by Maccabi. They send out these yellow candles, and actually we've got quite a few yellow candles at the shul. I'm not sure how I can get hold of them, but I might try and get hold of them. So if you are local to the shul and you'd like one, just drop me an email or WhatsApp or let me know, and I can try maybe and get a candle to you. So Yom HaShoah is actually Monday evening. It is the anniversary of one of the great rebellions against the Nazis in the Warsaw Ghetto. In the time of the Holocaust, all the Jews were kind of squeezed into the Warsaw Ghetto, and there was a huge rebellion fighting against the Nazis to try and survive. And we remember that, and we remember everybody who's passed away. The beautiful things about flames, is that they're very, very precious. They look beautiful. They keep us warm. They help us with cooking and everything else. But it's very easy for a flame to go out, so you have to take particular care with flames. I would like Eliana to light the candle now, please. Just hurry up. Excitement mounts. Something else? You on? Here we go. So we're going to light each of the candles, and then after lighting each of the candles, we're just going to read the cards. I've got 3 people here to light candles. Just wait 1 second, Ellie, while I just tell them. This is the first candle. Off you go.
He perished in Auschwitz in 1944, age 7.
Thank you. And the next one. Hold it right to the wick. Right to the wick. Keep going, right to the wick.
Gross of Nagyabad. He perished at Auschwitz in 1944, age 7.
Right to the wick. Right to the wick. On the wick. There we go.
Lisa Fonareva of Neza, who perished at Neza in 1941, age 7.
Georgy Isaac of Najibabad, who perished at Auschwitz in 1944, age 7. Eobor Hoffman of Najibabad, who perished at Auschwitz in 1944, age 7.
Thank you very much, Rabbi Jeremy. So we're going to read some poetry. I'll begin by reading a poem, and then Rabbi Natasha will do that. And then I think we'll go straight into El Malei Rachamim with Chazan Stephen, and we'll then take a moment of silence. So the poem that I'm going to read is called A Dream, and it's by Avraham Koplovitz, who lived in Lodz and died during the Shoah in September 1944. And Avraham, he really did dream, and through magical poetry he was able to dream of escaping the war. And this poem describes a freedom that he never attained, but maybe attained in his imagination. When I grow up and reach the age of 20, I'll set out to see the enchanting world. I'll take a seat in a bird with a motor. I'll rise and soar into space. I'll fly, sail, hover over the lovely faraway world. I'll soar over rivers and oceans. Skyward shall I ascend and blossom. A cloud my sister, the wind my brother. I'll see the pyramids and the Sphinx. I'll fly over Niagara Falls. I'll drift over the cloud-strewn cliffs of Tibet. By wind I'll cross the great Kangaroo Island. I'll fly slowly, hovering lazily, and thus basking in the enchantment of this world. Skyward shall I soar and blossom. A cloud my sister, the wind my brother.
Thank you, DY. I'll now read the poem The Butterfly, which is a poem by Pavel Friedman, who was born in Prague and died in German-occupied Poland in September 1944. This poem uses the color yellow and the symbol of the butterfly to describe the poet's hopes and dreams. The last, the very last, so richly, brightly, dazzlingly yellow. Perhaps if the sun's tears would sing against a white stone. Such a yellow is carried lightly way up high. It went away, I'm sure, because it wished to kiss the world goodbye. For 7 weeks I've lived here, penned up inside this place, but I have found my people here. The dandelions call to me, and the white chestnut candles in the court. Only I never saw another butterfly. That butterfly was the last one. Butterflies don't live here in this place.
Thank you, Chazan Stephen. I'll say thank you to everyone now for participating and for making this so special. We will now have a moment's silence and then I will end the live stream. So thank you for joining us for this. Wishing all of you a healthy week ahead. Thank you very much for being here.